Okay, hello all. Okay, hello. Another one practice session on Mosquito today. Let's check weapon settings. Mollen's gun for Brownings. Oh, that's vertical Brownings. I didn't notice that earlier. They're quite weak. Okay. And start. The mission program will be the same in general. Taxiing, takeoff circuit and landing, and maybe some gunnery. First, some good weather, some reason today. First, track IR settings. Center a little bit up. Then RPM forward. Technochat I don't need, I think. Trim neutral, trim 2/4 up, that's 50%, 50% elevator, aileron, I can't remember, and rudder a little bit there. I use trimming for stabilized climbing. And engine start. Throttle a little bit forward. No mixture settings, no radiator. Radiator is gonna be open all the time. Okay, all set. Lights on. Cockpit lights on. Shut the door. No parking brake. I need to set up my track IR for comfortable taxiing. I need to see those levers, maybe too much. That's gonna be good. Or maybe try without that. I'm gonna watch those RPM gauges on a grassy surface. That's gonna be about 1400 RPM to start moving, and then on asphalt tarmac you need not more than 9500. But I'm gonna do taxiing on grass first. This is my third attempt of trying taxi on this airplane. I must say I feel a little bit more confident than last week, and much more confident than first time 2 weeks ago. But of course, mistakes, errors gonna be there, circles gonna be there, but no circles yet. Well, I understand that streaming is quite boring to watch. I hope in the end I'm gonna try to destroy that train on the island on the south of Portsmouth. I always practice in strafing vehicle column on P40, and there is a train over there. I'm gonna try to deal with it with my Molins gun. And I repeat, the main reason why I'm trying to evolve my skills on Mosquito. I like Mosquito, but there are a lot of great airplanes to fly. Unfortunately, multiplayer almost always gives you late war Western Front airplanes, plane settings. You cannot find P40 almost. You almost never can find P40 on servers. And here's a circle. And vehicle columns is very rare opportunity to strafe, to have that vehicle column as your ground target. Very rare. This server is training server. Some other training servers gives you such opportunity. And historical IRWAR training also. Combat historical IRWAR has got no techno chat, and I need techno chat on P40. So first I gonna make a circle over around my airfield on a grassy surface, trying to taxi with S turning, and then I gonna make another circle on a asphalt tarmac surface. I use differential power, no brakes, taxiing. Of course I can use brakes, but I want to develop my skill of no brakes, taxiing, only differential power taxiing. I need that to be confident in my taxiing skills, and also I consider that part of good gaming, it is a part of good gaming, so if you got any skills and you're using them, that's some fun. I touch asphalt surface and I received immediately a circle because of that very steep border between asphalt surface drag and grassy surface rolling drag, rolling resistant force. I don't like it very much, but I got no reasons to say that's not realistic. In real life they used a combination of differential power and a little bit, very few braking, applying very little brake. So no hard braking, no full braking, because of slippery surface. To start her turning, you need to create differential power, and to stop her turning, you need to create opposite differential power. That's quite tricky. You need special skill for that, and you need time and attempts, practice sessions, training to develop that skills. As you can see right now, my skills are not good at all, but anyway I feel much more confident than first time 2 weeks ago. You can taxi straight forward, but by the straight line, but you will not be able to see anything ahead of you. So you need S turning. The main thing about turning with differential power is to control your tail wheel angle. You create differential power. Your Mosquito starts turning, and only then your tail wheel changing its angle. And after that, the intensity of turning while taxiing depends of tail wheel angle. So that's quite complicated procedure to control differential power. Differential power controls airplane turning. Airplane turning controls tail wheel angle, and tail wheel angle itself affects very much airplane turning. That's quite tricky, quite hard, but you can evolve your skill. You can practice, and in the end you're gonna be good in S turning. I've got asphalt tarmac on ahead. I need to reduce power to avoid circling. Create differential power to avoid turning. She's got inertia. I wasn't That's how tail wheel angle works. Oh, more or less good for now. Add RPMs a little bit. That's about 1200 RPM, I think, or something like that. I need 12.500 RPM average. And unfortunately, the main feature of S-turning on Mosquito is that your trajectory is very wide. The wave, or how you say it. On P40 you're able to perform S-turning even at the very narrow taxiway, concrete taxiway. You will not be able to do that with Mosquito. So S turning pattern on Mosquito is very wide. That's why I probably will not be able to perform S turning on tarmac runways, asphalt or concrete tarmac runways. Immediately circle because I touched tarmac surface with different rolling drag characteristics. That's very inconvenient, very hard. You just need to feel your tail wheel angle, tail wheel position, and to predict with your differential power, avoid too much angling of that tail wheel. So, in my understanding, comfortable taxiing you can perform when you've got comparatively small tail wheel angles. So avoid big tail wheel angle values, and your taxiing is gonna be comfortable without circling, without mistakes. And the only thing you can control, how you can control that tail wheel angle, is a differential power if you do not use brakes. Once again, she's turning left. I need to create differential power to right to stop her turning left, and then create differential power to right once again to start her turning right. And I've just created too much differential power to the right, so she's the tail wheel angled too much, changed it angle too much, so that was uncomfortable, that was bad taxiing. So you need to feel that. Once again, too much. If you had too much differential power to the left, you need too much differential power to the right to stop her turning. And that's very easy to make it too much left differential power. So it's better not to make that mistake. case she's turning slightly. That's good tail wheel angle. I've created opposite differential power, she's turning other way. I've created right differential power. Too much power. I should reduce a little bit. Let's try to cross that tarmac 90 degrees angle. Too late. I was too late on creating right differential power. So I need to watch one eye on, to keep, how they say, one eye on these gauges all the time. To keep one eye on these gauges. And to control all around the airplane to assess her turning. That's quite a task, quite a challenge, quite a skill. Once again, I'm too late on right differential power. That's my usual mistake. For some reason, she's turning right much more easily than to the left. That's because of, probably because of rotation. propellers rotation. That's interesting. You can get used to that and deal with that, but you need to evolve your skills. For that you need practicing. Okay, I got where I have started. So next I'm gonna try to perform some asphalt tarmac surface taxiing. There's gonna be straight ahead, straightforward taxiing without any S-turning. Because once again, Mosquito's S-turning pattern is quite wide. Zero speed turning. And start moving. First, let's try it on landing runway. Not on taxi runway. It's much wider. I'm gonna have less problems with that. For normal taxiing on asphalt tarmac, I need 9,500 RPM power settings. Once again, on such a low power engine power, manifold pressure gauges are not working. But that unit that controls your constant RPM while flying, I don't know how to call it in English. It also not working because of low RPM. It works on a higher RPM values. So that's very convenient, because every little throttle movement you can see it on RPM gauges. So for grassy surface on this airplane with this armament, you need 1300 RPM power settings, and on asphalt tarmac you need 9,500 RPM. That's very tricky when you taxiing on the border of that surfaces. And I guess on concrete tarmac surfaces you're gonna need 900 RPM, even less than on tarmac. To start moving you need more power than to taxi with a constant speed, with comfortable constant speed. Normal taxiing speed, which is quite low. I've got more power than I need. That affects circling. She's turning too heavy. I don't need so much turning, cause I gonna get myself on a grassy surface, and that's very inconvenient, cause taxiing on a border is quite tricky because of that difference between roll and drag. So you need to change your power settings, you need to deal with additional torque, momentum. Reduce power, that's okay, I think. Too much maybe, but you never get your throttle lever on your joystick exactly the same position you need, so it's gonna be a little bit more than you need or a little bit less than you need. You have to deal with that. That's another reason why I like grassy and gravel surfaces, and I don't like tarmac and I don't like asphalt and concrete surfaces. This airfield with asphalt taxiways I like because they quite wide. On Torn Island there is very good airfield, but it has concrete surface taxiways and they are quite narrow. That's inconvenient. What can I say? For now I hate that asphalt tarmac in compared with grassy or gravel surface, because you need a lot more precise engine power dealing, much more precise controlling of your engine power, of your differential. Any mistake gives you much more troubles than on asphalt tarmac. That's unplayable, what can I say? but I'm gonna try anyway. You need to have some learning curve to say that unplayable or to get your skills. Who knows? Maybe that's because of my inexperienced. Very hard, very painful. Let's try average 900 RPM. The speed is too low. I need to increase power. I increase power and immediately power is too much. Let's try. Now I've got average about 930 RPM. Let's wait and see how she behaves on such power settings. She's gonna accelerate, of course, very slightly. I need to avoid that grass surface with different rolling drag characteristics. Well, you can see that's not enough power. I need to increase more. I move throttle forward and I've got too much. I've got average more than 9.5 100 RPMs. I need to decrease. Okay, now I have average about 920 RPM. That's not enough once again. Too slow. That's why I like Stalingrad, Kuban, gravel, grassy surfaces. I don't like asphalt tarmac. Well, this is good. This speed is good. What can I say? You will not be able to perform taxiing on this airplane without using brakes. Probably that's realistic because I've heard Mosquito had that problem. Maybe I'm wrong. That's very sad. Once again, too much power, too much power. I needed 900 and a half 100 RPM. 950 RPM. It's too much. So it's so uneasy to set your on exactly the same position and set your throttle on exactly that position and to control it while taxiing. It's, for me, seems like unrealistic, and it's definitely unplayable. That's why I hate that tarmac surfaces. A zero speed turning, that's a good part of skill, that's a good element. Not letting her turn too much. Okay, she is accelerating. Oh fuck, I touched the grassy surface with my right wheel, and that's pain. You need to increase RPM, increase your power. You do not increase on RPM, you've got full RPM settings, you're using throttle levers, but you control your power by watching RPM gauge readings. Not enough power, too much power. Insufficient power, too much power. That's painful. Unplayable at all. That's too much power. That's 1000 RPM. Too much. That's not enough. I hate that asphalt tarmac. now I set exactly 9,500 RPM. Let's see how comfortable taxi is gonna be. Okay. Quite comfortable. Taxiing speed is okay. Seems too slow, but okay. Now I saw that feature in this game on P40. She is changing her throttle lever position by herself without you touching your throttle on your joystick. Well, if that's some physics in the game, I mean some bumps maybe vibrating because of bumps on a surface and your throttle lever moving a bit because of that. But I didn't touch that throttle levers. Some reason she reduced power by herself. Very inconvenient. Okay, such a narrow taxiway, I'm not able to taxi without using brakes, to turn without using brakes. That's my okay, now I'm here. The readiness to move on start point, and right over there is the start point. I'm gonna try to get there. In 30 seconds time. Get there and stop with heading 150. Of course, by using brakes. It's about 150. 25 seconds and throttle gently forward. Not able to see anything ahead of me. A 130 miles per hour takeoff. RPM to 2700 and throttle back to 4. Now once again I'm gonna try to pick up standard climbing settings for stabilized climbing. So I need that vertical speed gauge to be stationary. It's moving, so I need to change manifold pressure a bit. Reduce manifold pressure a bit. Watch our heading. I will not track my altitude for now. Let her climb about 3000 feet. I need just to get my stabilized climbing settings. For this elevator trimming, 50% Technochat 2/4. Okay, still I think it's a bit too much. Reduce manifold pressure a little bit more. Let's have it on 3 3.1, 3.2. And let's watch our vertical speed indicator. The gauge should be stationary. It shouldn't move. That's gonna mean you've got straight line trajectory. That's important for formation flying. That's comfortable for pilot fatigue reasons. So more or less stationary right now. Yes, gauge is moving a bit, but very slowly. I've got more or less good heading, 150. Okay, it's 3,000 feet altitude. Let's try to perform transition into a straight and level flight, stabilized straight and level flight without technochat. Okay, minus some trimming. RPM down to 2400 RPM indicated. She is pitching nose down, not too much, a little bit more. Elevator trim down and a little bit more. Watch our heading a little bit more. Not letting her lose altitude. That was too much. Indicator should be in a positive zone. A little bit more. Oh, I've got too much nose down. That was my mistake. I need 25%. That's 25%. Let's check it with technochat. Yes, it is. That's why she pitched her nose down. And I was too late on reducing manifold pressure. So that was my mistake. Manifold pressure, I remember from the last training, is a little bit less than 0. That's the boost gauge is manifold pressure. Now she isn't stabilized because of my mistake. I need to correct aileron trimming and rudder trimming. But sooner or later she's gonna be stabilized. Then I'm gonna practice some standard 15 degrees bank angle turns. Okay, watch our RPM settings. Oh, 2400 exactly. I like it. Vertical speed is about 0, but still not constant. Still she's not stabilized, but she's stabilizing. Some adjustment to aileron trimming. I need more to right wing. One click. Oh, what can I say? Probably different kind of weather. No overcast, so it's a little bit more high temperature, and I need a little bit more manifold pressure. That's what I used to be. That's what I'm used to. I know that features from my P40 experience, and I've adjusted manifold pressure a bit. Let's make it 0 exactly, a little bit more than 0. So manifold pressure affects airspeed, and airspeed, which the right airspeed gives you stabilized settings on chosen elevator trim settings. So your airplane tends to maintain 0 vertical speed, constant airspeed. That's very comfortable for route flying, for formation flying. That's how you should fly. Now I can see I'm losing altitude a bit. Vertical speed indicator is negative. So I should increase manifold pressure a little bit more. Or maybe not. Let's wait and see. I've lost 6 degrees of heading. That's unacceptable. Unfortunately, after P40, after P51, 820 and Mosquito now are not so stable in terms of heading, maintaining heading, unfortunately. Yes, definitely I need to increase my power a little bit, increasing. That's too much. I think that's gonna be too much. But let's perform left 15-degree bank angle standard turn. Pull up a little bit, not letting her pull down. Push down a little bit, not letting her pitching up or pitching nose down to maintain 0 vertical speed. Watching our banking angle, it should be 15 degrees, vertical speed should be 0. Different types of airplane turning differently, in a different manner. Each airplane has got its own character. I didn't add any extra power. You should add that. So I've lost some airspeed. I need to gain some airspeed. Let's lose some altitude and pull up. Not to have excessive airspeed. Airspeed is a key for stabilized flying. Okay, now she's gonna bow a little bit up and down. Rather trim a little bit right, so that gauge is dead center. I've lost some heading. I shouldn't do that. So more or less stabilized. More or less. Not ideal, but more or less. Let's perform second left 90-degree turn. Add some extra power and bank. Watch our vertical speed. Pull up a little bit. Watch our banking degree angle. Banking angle 50-degree. And watch around. Our new heading is gonna be 330. That's 30 degrees until desired heading. I move throttle back on a standard position and leveling up to maintain heading 330. Throttle a little bit forward. Let's have it 0.06 or 0.5 manifold pressure, or boost, how Brits call that. You can see she's not stabilized. She's gaining altitude. That's because of the turn. Okay, power settings I think is okay. 0.8, 0.9 for such hot weather. Once again, no overcast, very sunny day. More higher temperature than last week. Last week I needed a little bit less than zero, I think minus 0.3 manifold pressure. Now I've got plus 0.8 for stabilized flying. And maybe it's too much. I needed 0.6. Let's wait and see. You need that routine training, very boring training for in order to evolve your skills, your knowledge, to get yourself used to this airplane, great airplane, for bombing, for dealing with German tanks. And even with German fighter airplanes. That Mosquito is quite a beast against 109s and 190s, against 110s. Now you can see vertical speed is positive. I need it to be 0, but I'm not able to look. I had 0.8 boost manifold pressure and now it's 0.5. I didn't touch my throttle level on my joystick. It changed itself. Why? And it's still changing. It's reducing. Well, I don't mind. Okay, next step, transition into stabilized descending with flaps down wheels down, undercarriage down. That's what you need on your final landing approach. The procedure is gonna be wheels down, throttle back, RPM full forward, watching our vertical speed, maintaining 0, then elevator trim up to 80-85%, and then wait until our airspeed is gonna be 230-240 miles per hour, and then letting her pitch nose down and flaps down. I still do not understand where is the flaps indicator. Probably I don't have one. I don't know that airplane, but I use listening when flaps extracting noise stopped. I consider my flaps is full extracted. So let's start without technochart. Gear down, throttle back, not full back, RPM forward, pulling up, elevator trim on this position, and pulling up, not letting her lose altitude and accelerate. She is losing speed, that's what I need, maintaining heading, and 140 miles per hour, flaps down, nose down, throttle back a little bit. I need throttle forward, I need 200 RPM, so my power is too low, boost indicator doesn't work once again, but RPM indicator is very useful, and I even don't need to change my elevator settings. I'm gonna change it anyway, and let's see, I'm stabilized in stabilized descending, which you need for final approach, standard final approach. Let's watch vertical speed indicator. It should be stationary. If it's not stationary, I need to change power settings, but it's stationary. I like it. Very good, very comfortable airplane and unique airplane in terms of overhead pattern. You don't need any shifting on opposite course on 2 quarters, but I will return to that later when we're gonna perform that pattern. And now I need to perform transition into stabilized climbing. Okay, wheels up, throttle forward on 4, flaps up, reducing our elevator trim on 50% once again, and watch our airspeed, reducing our RPM on 2700 RPM. Watch our airspeed is sufficient, pull up, she's gonna be stabilized a little bit, add power a little bit. I pulled too much, too early, and power on 3, once again, maybe on 4. Let's try it on 4. On 4 gonna be too much. On 3, manifold pressure on 3, airspeed is gonna be 100 85 miles per hour or something like that. I've lost 15 degrees of heading. That's unacceptable. That's my mistake. I need to correct. Okay, RPM good. Power settings is good. Maybe a little bit less than I need. Let's watch our heading and climbing speed, vertical speed. I'm not stabilized, but I need to find out whether it's insufficient manifold pressure or too much. I bet it's not enough. Yes, it's not enough. Let's increase just a bit. 3.4, 3.5. That's gonna be too much, I think. Very uncomfortable gauges reading because of that aiming device. I don't know how to call it in English. A little bit rudder setting, trim settings change. Very good airplane with that indicator and with that indicator. Very convenient. So good work, Brits, of doing that. Not a good work of doing this. I'm not able to watch my zero banking angle, heading and vertical speed at the same time. You can fly like that. I set my track IR, but you will not be able to watch anything around you. That's unacceptable. It's more or less stabilized now. I like it. And let's try. But I've lost my heading. Heading in a headache. Heading's gonna be headache on this airplane, unfortunately. And I've got 3,000 feet. Let's perform transition into straight and level flight. A little bit elevator trim down, RPM down on 2400 RPM. Watch our heading. She's pitching nose down. Wait until she's pitching nose up, and a little bit more. Elevator trim down. She's pitching nose up and a little bit more. And a little bit more. And it's 25. 1/4. Airspeed is too much. Throttle back. This airplane behaves quite differently from P-40. I need to add some changes in that procedure. I will adjust that. aileron trims on left wing some, and throttle back to 0.4. Okay, more or less stabilized. And once again transition into stabilized descending with flaps down, undercarriage down. Okay, wheels down, throttle back and up, RPM forward, watching here vertical speed, pulling up, elevator trim up on this position, nose up, I should have 0 vertical speed. She is slowing down, and flaps down and nose down. Okay, flaps down, she's stabilized. A little bit aileron trim settings, power a little bit up. She's stabilized. I'm okay. Very convenient. Very convenient. Very good airplane on final landing approach. A little bit goes, power too much. Once again, power is so low, boost gauge doesn't work. So I control my power by RPM gauge. That's very convenient because RPM is too low, and that device which controls your constant RPM, I don't know how to call it in English, it doesn't work either. So that's very convenient. On low power settings, I'm stabilized, more or less stabilized. You can see vertical speed gauge is almost stationary. That's good. Transition into climbing, stabilized climbing. Wheels up. Boost 4. Flaps up. Full up. Letting her accelerate. Pull up. Okay, flaps fully up. RPM down to 2700, and elevator trim down to 50%, and wait until I've got airspeed. Pull up. Throttle a little bit forward. Insufficient airspeed. Aileron trim, right wing, 2 clicks. Rudder trim. I've lost 10 degrees of heading. That's normal for new airplane. I've got no skills. I'm not used to this airplane. A little bit too much power, I think, or too low power. 3.6. Let's have it this way. A little bit rudder settings. I adjust my heading. I need 330 heading. And more or less stabilized. How about my fuel? I'm losing fuel. I can feel she's changing her behavior. Now she's got more vertical speed on exact the same power settings. Oh, there's the flop indicator. Great. I found it. Success. Okay, more or less good. Let's change, let's transit to stabilized straight and level flight. Elevator trim a little bit down, she's pitching nose down, RPM 2400, that also helps her to accelerate. Elevator trim a little bit more down, a little bit more down, and 25%, and power throttle back. Well, this airplane is quite different from P40. I think I'm gonna be able to decrease elevator trim settings in 2 steps much faster than on P40, and then immediately reduce power settings. Well, that's more or less what I needed. 0.2 manifold pressure, rudder trim settings, adjustment, watching our heading, watching vertical speed is okay. I love it. 0 vertical speed, gauge is stationary. Let's perform another left turn, 15-degree bank angle left turn standard. Add some manifold pressure, pulling up a little bit, 15-degree bank angle, 15 degrees bank angle, pulling down, she's pitching up. New heading is gonna be 240. Unfortunately, I've got no time. I need to get back to that train and try to hit that engine, train engine, by my Molin's gun. Let's try that, and then I'm gonna perform landing approach, overhead pattern, and landing, and that's it for me. I've got no time. So I'm somewhere over here and train is somewhere over there. Attack pattern is gonna be base heading, like I call it, is gonna be 030. Let's find where we are. Stationary or stabilized straight and level flying, I like that. Let's find where we are. Not stationary, not enough power, add power, too much. Let's make it Let's make it 0.4, 0.5. and watch for, search for terrain features, bridges, towns, villages, roads, rivers. Oh, I can see the crossroad, T-junction crossroad, big city, big town. To my 9 o'clock. That could be Andover or Winchester. And Winchester, no, some river. Oh, that's Salisbury. I need to turn left. Okay, turning left. Standard 90-degree turn with 15 degrees banking angle. Yes, that's probably Salisbury. Let's complete that 90 degrees turn. New heading's gonna be 150. Leveling up 150. Watch our power settings. Probably okay, but I'm not stabilized. I need a little bit more power. Okay, 0.5 power settings. Heading is okay. Straight and level stabilized. And where I am? Probably that's Salisbury. I'm somewhere there. And that is that's Stonehenge. That's that T-junction crossroads I seen earlier. Next terrain feature is gonna be after Salisbury, Forden Bridge and Ipesley Airfield. Now I can see Newport Island on my 12 o'clock. Stabilized straight and level flight. I like that very much, but unfortunately, as I said earlier, she's losing heading very violently. Not convenient. P40 is much more convenient, and P51 is probably the best. But still, that's okay. You can deal with that. heading. Let's see what we can see. Not much. Oh, that's that terrain feature, that town which I fording bridge, and I should see Ipesley airfield to the south from that town. Yes, I can see that airfield, and another town, Ringwood, more to the south. That means I'm somewhere there. 0502.3. She's losing heading. That's very inconvenient. Very inconvenient. I need to deal with that with my rudder trim settings, and I'm gonna deal with that. I've got experience. RPM is okay, boost is okay, leveling up. She's banking right. Oh no. No, she's maintaining heading. I just need to... Yeah, she's banking left. Here you go. One click rudder on the right. If it's not gonna be enough, I'm gonna click one click more. Do one click more. Okay, no more landing approach training attempts. I just go straight forward to that attack area near Newport. I'm gonna try to destroy that train engine with my Molins gun. And unfortunately that's it for me for today. I've got not enough time this weekend for flying. I wanted to do combat P40 mission on historical IR training, but once again I had no time for that. That's very unfortunate. Oh, she's maintaining heading. That's very, very good. Very convenient airplane. I love it. I think it's already 1 minute 30 seconds. I didn't touch controls at all, and she's losing only 1 degree of heading. That's very good, very good. I am adjusting heading, some left bank angle, very small bank angle to the left, and level up once again. Watch wingtips, it should be horizontal. Watch that gauge, artificial horizon. And she's gonna give me another 30 or 40 seconds of not touching controls at all. And she's gonna maintain that heading. No, she's not maintaining. I need to adjust rudder trim once again to the left. I've adjusted that. Technochat off. I don't need Technochat on this airplane. It has gauges a little bit more to the right, too much to the left, and level up. Okay, I'm level. She's gonna maintain that heading. Soon I gonna set combat settings, power settings, and do some combat maneuvering in circle strafing pattern. Base heading's gonna be 030. Let's calculate jump heading. Like I call it, that's I'm gonna have left circle. That means I'm gonna have 030 plus 135. That's 065 climbing heading. I'm gonna make few passes, few strafing runs, just a few, and return to base. Because that I need that because tank columns, tank armored targets, you are not very popular on multiplayer servers, so you do not have too much vehicle convoys for P40 and too much tank columns for Mosquito with modern guns. Of course, you have Wings of Liberty server, but I don't play server with average 30 minutes mission durations and with airplane icon on map. That's unacceptable for me. Okay, power settings. RPM 2700. Boost 5. And that's it. And track IR settings a little bit there. 45 degrees bank angle. Turning 120 heading. Oh, 090. Let's make it 090. Let's try how fast she is on that combat settings. I'm gonna use that combat settings, power settings on my strafing circle pattern. She's such stable. 230 miles per hour, great airspeed. Okay, I should descend. That train is somewhere there. I can see the white smoke from train's engine. Very convenient. Very and very bad for train unmasking. Oh, my heading is not good. I think 030 heading. Wow, airspeed is mighty. Wow, airspeed is scary. Where is that? Oh, there he is. There it is. That. And she's such a stable on that high airspeed. Such a stable. Now we're gonna perform 45 degrees bank angle turn. And on 3/4 of that turn I'm gonna make 5-second shift. That means 3/4 with my base heading 030 is gonna be 120. I will not explain why I do that. I need to adjust my base point to be right above that target. And if I do not make that shifting, my base point is gonna be to the west of the target. Now I'm not able to see the target. Adjusting track air settings a bit. What is that airplane? Oh, almost perfect. Almost perfect, that train. What can I say? I need 2/4 shift and 1/4 1-second shift. That means 300 1/4 shift and 2/4 I think 2-second shift. And then I gonna 1/4 1-second, continue, proceed with turning, and then I gonna have my circling exactly on the, I gonna fly over the target when I have heading 030. That's a base heading, and I need to pull my circling pattern to place it right on my target. If I need that shifting okay, I need a little bit more. I didn't do 2/4 shifting. That was my mistake, previous circle. Okay, my airspeed has reduced. It is 25 miles per hour, mighty airspeed, and I've adjusted elevator trim settings. I don't even need to watch it. And on heading 150, that's 2/4 like I call it, I gonna make 2 or I think 3-second shift. Okay, 150, 3 seconds shifting, and proceed with my turning. What is that white smoke? I'm not able to see that. Let's complicate. Oh, there is here. Now I need 1/4 shifting, about 2 seconds 1/4 shifting, and still about 2 or 3 seconds 2/4 shifting. I need to pull my circling pattern a little bit to the west and to the south. 300 1/4. 2-3 second shift. Proceed with our turning, and on 150 Oh, I was wrong. Now you can see my mistake. 2/4 heading was not 150, it was 210. That was my mistake. That's why you need to practice every weekend. That was my mistake. That's quite interesting skill. That's circling pattern technique. Okay, where is train? Train is over there. Okay, now I can say I don't need any 2/4 shifting. I don't need to shift my circling pattern to the south. I need only 1/4 shifting and about 5 seconds. Here 300 1/4 shift, about 5 seconds to the west. Okay, and then I'm gonna fly over the target while having my 030 heading. That's base heading. That technique you need for formation, for group strafing procedures. Of course, when you strafe alone, you don't need all of that. But when you strafe in group, you need to spread your airplanes. Look at that. Watch my heading. My heading is almost okay. I need, let's say, 1 second shift 2/4 and 1 second. I don't need 1/4 shifting. I'm gonna have 2/4 1 second shift. And you have to spread through the circle, spread airplanes, group airplanes through the circle, so they gonna have safe and convenient circling pattern, maintaining target constantly under the fire. That's a group strafing technique. Once again, while watching anybody streaming, you see how people strafe, how they attack targets. That's complete bedlam, out of any order. Sometimes that's very rare occasion, but they hit each other with their own bombs or even collide with each other. Okay, that's my base point. That's what I needed to see. And next circle it's gonna be firing circle, like I call it. So heading 165 I gonna level up and start climbing, maintaining vertical speed 25, 30, 100 feet per minute, not more than 30, 100 feet per minute. Okay, heading is almost there, level up. She's pitching nose up by herself. Trim down, not letting her climb too much. Oh, I didn't see my altitude. Altitude, let's say 300 feet, and turning. I almost forgot about altitude. Where is target? First circle is gonna be irrelevant because of insufficient speed. Leveling up, she's stabilized. I forgot to watch my airspeed. Pulling up, more or less okay, and then I gonna dive. I will not shoot this time. Next time I'm gonna, or this circle, next circle is gonna be with firing. Just in trim seconds. Watch our 45-degree bank angle. Even this aiming device could help me with that. Adjusting trim settings, watching heading indicator, .180 and 170, level up, climbing, trim down, trim up, wait until it's 1300 feet, trim down, I need to practice more. Adjusting trim settings, maintaining 45 degrees bank angle, watching our target. Okay, that wasn't a good approach pattern. She stabilized and pull up. Airspeed reducing, 120, dive. Well, that's gonna be quite shallow strafing run, but I'm okay with that. Adjusting elevator trim to put my aiming mark on target and fire. Engine is damaged. Train engine is damaged. Good. If I don't have armored units, targets on servers, trains and train engines, you almost always have on every server. Because that Molin's gun strafing technique is quite interesting for me, quite fun. I gonna use it in multiplayer while I'm not able to fly P40. P40 is very rare guest on multiplayer, unfortunately. Once again, watching our heading, 170 I'm leveling up, and 165 climbing, trim down, trim down, trim down, trim down, too much vertical speed, trim up, okay, 1200 feet, banking, just elevator trim, watch our airspeed 170, 180 miles per hour, watch our bank angle, watch our target. Okay, she's stabilized. Wait 3-4 seconds, maybe a little bit more, and pull up. That was a good approach. Pull up until 120 miles per hour indicated and then dive. Oh, that was very steep approach. That's gonna be, I like it. Well, train's engine was destroyed only from one shell. Let's see if I gonna be able to destroy train wagons, vehicles. At least something. Oh, I've got no enough time. Very inconvenient. Once again, all that techniques, all those procedures I use only because I consider them very useful in group flying. For single aircraft strafing you don't need that, but still to have standard procedures is very useful, like on landing. My landings probably better than most of players' landings, and my strafing, regardless, I'm not very experienced player in strafing. My strafing is gonna be also quite efficient. For good strafing run you need good approach. If you had good approach, you're gonna have good strafing run. Okay, she's stable, she's stabilized, she's pitching nose up. Wait until she stops pitching and then pull up manually and dive. Where is the target? Okay, quite shallow approach. Let's try to destroy that wagon. Adjust elevator trim settings. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna strafe the trains. I destroyed that wagon. Great shot. One more circle and return to base. Famous last words. I know that joke, but really I've got no time. I would like to do Berloga action. I would like to do combat P40 mission on historical IRR until they switch it off forever. But unfortunately no time for that. Level up, trim down, she's pitching nose up, she's climbing, trim up, trim down, watch our vertical speed is okay, watch our altitude 1200 feet, banking, turning left with 45 degrees bank angle, adjusting elevator trim. Watch our airspeed is too much. Pull up, watch our target. Okay, I'm too close. Some reason pull up. Some reason I was too close. So I'll pull up early. Okay, dive. Quite good approach, not steep, not shallow. I'm gonna strafe another train wagon, adjusting our elevator trim settings. Oh, bad approach. That was bad approach. That's enough for me. Some reason that was bad approach. I was too late on adjusting my elevator trim settings, and in the first moments of diving you should change it quite hard, quite violently. Okay, now I'm gonna get myself into this area to get on initial overhead pattern approach straight. It's gonna be, I need to stabilize my airplane now, I'm sorry. RPM 2400 RPM. Trim up a bit. Turning left on heading 330. Power down. Trim 25%. I'm not used to this airplane. I've got no. Okay, airspeed is sufficient. Power up. She's stabilized already. Almost stabilized. Very good airplane, very pleasant. I like it. I like it. Those indicators allows you not to use Technochat with all those tactical IRVAR. I'm sorry for cursing bullshit. Historical IRVAR bullshit of switching off Technochat. Okay, rather settings. She's stabilized. Okay. And this is gonna be my approach straight. Heading 13150. I'm gonna get myself into this area of getting into, of exiting initial overhead pattern point approach straight. And right over there, moving here, I'm gonna start turning. 3/4 of a turn, and over there I'm gonna start transitioning into wheels down, flaps down, descending. Okay, let's make transition into climbing settings. Trim up a little bit. RPM up to 2700 RPM. She's gonna pitch nose up, climb and reduce airspeed a little bit more. Trim up. She's climbing a little bit more. I tend not to let her pitch nose down a little bit more and a little bit more. And power up to 3.5. Well, my Mosquito is stabilized in climbing attitude, but I've lost 15 degrees of heading, and she's not stabilized. Adjusting heading. No, she's stabilized. Adjusting aileron settings, trim settings. More or less stabilized. I like it. And well-known terrain feature that tiny lake, tiny pond. It should be over there. I see it. That tiny pond or lake, and those crossroads, T-junction crossroads, you're not able to see from here. Oh, I've got too much altitude. I forgot. Descending. She's climbing very, very fast. I'm not used to that. But that's my fault anyway. That was my fault anyway. Okay, Mosquito, let's descend. I need... Oh, I've descended too much because I'm not used to. Let's climb a little bit, Mosquito. I descended too much because I'm not used to that altimeter. I'm gonna climb while turning. I'm gonna need 1900 feet. Okay, throttle back, level up. 240 heading is my desired heading. I've lost some fuel. I've burned some fuel. I've lost some ammo. I've shot some ammo. So she is gonna need less airspeed for stabilized straight and level flying, and less manifold pressure. Let's make it -1 manifold pressure. She's stabilized. Aileron trim settings adjustment. That's that lake. And Lyndhurst is a very convenient terrain feature to aim to get yourself on that straight approach straight. Where is Lyndhurst? Good weather, good visibility. I can see it. Wait a little bit more. And I think I start turning right now. A little bit extra manifold pressure, excessive power. not to lose altitude while turning. Pulling up a little bit so she stays 0 vertical speed. She doesn't pitch nose down or pitch nose up. Maintaining 15 degrees bank angle. Watch our heading. 150 is our heading. Throttle back. When it's like in a drugstore, like we call it in Russia, my airstrip is dead ahead. That's precise. That's what I call precise. Very good. Such a good visibility today. On this training server, that's SteelSkies server. Very good server. I like it very much. And I don't even need to adjust to do any right or left shifting. Maybe a little bit right shifting. Now I'm somewhere over there and I watch this landing runway. Here you can see I should be a little bit to the right to see that runway H touch my, let's see, this part of my cabin cockpit. That's gonna be standard point for I've got insufficient altitude. I need to climb a little bit. Let's climb. But that's my mistake. I should avoid that. But I'm still not used to this airplane, not used to this instrument panel, not used to its behavior. But I'm getting used to it. Okay, I'm too low. I gonna deal with that by climbing while turning. Okay, I should be to the right. I should be more to the right. That's my mistake. Another mistake. And okay, start turning. Start turning. A little bit excessive, a little bit extra power to climb some altitude. I'm okay with that altitude. Throttle back on 0. Watch our bank angle. Altitude okay, vertical speed is okay, bank angle okay. So turning until heading 240 and then do transition into wheels down, flaps down, descending. And that descending glide gonna get me right to the edge of the runway, landing runway strip. That's gonna be good approach. Touchdown itself probably not gonna be good because I'm still inexperienced in this airplane. I'm losing altitude. She's got tendency to pitch her nose down. That's why you need to add some manifold pressure to increase airspeed a little bit So she needs to be more stabilized, not losing altitude. Still okay, ready to perform transitioning procedure. 30 degrees until 240. I'm okay with range, I can see it visually, my assessment is okay, I'm not too far, not too close. Okay, let's make it. Level up, wheels down, throttle back, RPM forward, pull up, elevator trim up, banking, pulling up, not letting her lose altitude, let her lose airspeed, banking more, flaps down, nose down, power up. Okay. Well, I'm okay. I'm stabilized, descending. I think I'm on my final approach pass glide, how you call it, glissade. Maybe I'm too low. Add some power, you can change it when you stabilize. That's very convenient. Aileron trim left a bit. No, I'm right. Well, that's perfect approach. Perfect. Landing. Bad touch, bad landing, bad touchdown. Using brakes not to let her circle. More brakes. Well, good landing, good approach. Trim neutral. Taxiing into taxi runway. Use differential power. A little bit boring and painful taxiing procedures without using brakes, only with differential power. I'm gonna try it. I've touched grassy surface, gravel surface. That's not good. Let's taxi on grass. On grass I should be good. I'm not good on asphalt tarmac. even let's do S-turning while taxi. As you can see, I'm much more confident on gravel and grassy surfaces. That's because you need more engine power, so any little differentials gives you less error. So it's harder to make a mistake, and that asphalt tarmac taxiing requires very low power. So any differences in any mistakes in power settings cost you too much. So they, in comparatively to normal power, they gives you much more, the bigger error. So I probably should perform taxiing on Mosquito always on grassy or gravel surfaces. In multiplayer that's available, but in real life that's not going to be available, because whole area is going to be have equipment, vehicles, other airplanes. Even on some multiplayer servers, mission creators create historical and beautiful airfield structure with trucks, vehicles, ammo boxes and equipment boxes, different equipment, so you're just not able to use that runway sites to taxi runway sites to taxi on those. And immediately circle because of asphalt tarmac, immediately, because rolling drag is very low on asphalt tarmac. I'm not yelling, I've got any evidences that's not realistic, so probably those developers, they made it well. That's not a mistake, but that's unplayable. If that surface is gonna be wet, if that surface is gonna be icy and wet, snowy and icy, muddy and wet, that asphalt or concrete surface is gonna be slippery as hell. So differential power taxiing and turning is gonna be crucial for those situations. You're not gonna be able to use your brakes, or you're gonna be able to use brakes very gently, very cautiously. That's a problem with that taxiing physics, but once again, I'm not yelling because I've got no evidence that's wrong. Probably that's realistic. But still, as you can see, my taxiing, S-turning taxiing on grassy surface is quite okay. That wasn't the case even a week ago, and 2 weeks ago that was painful. So that's good. That's a result of a training result. But just when I get myself on the asphalt tarmac surface, I'm gonna suffer. And I need to get myself on that surface to taxi on my parking place. No, more or less okay. Even on asphalt tarmac. Asphalt tarmac, I should say. And turning right. Turning on 0 taxiing speed, very gently turning, very gently, not to let her circle. You saw that. You saw that was a moment when tail wheel moved. Tail wheel has moved. Okay. More or less okay. Engine is off. Lights off. Okay, thank you all. That's it for today. Goodbye.